Let's take you to Durban now, where the High Court is hearing the ANC's legal challenge against the uMkhonto weSizwe party's use of its logo and name. Newzroom Afrika's Ziyanda Ngcobo has been following proceedings inside court and joins us now. Afternoon, Ziyanda. Well, what a good few hours can tell us, inside that court. Take us through very briefly some of the highlights of what happened or transpired inside that courtroom this morning.
Well, I can tell you that the ANC has largely relied on Section 34(1)(a) of the Trademarks Act to make their arguments in court today. They're basically saying that this is an infringement of the uMkhonto weSizwe trademark. It belongs to the ANC, and they're saying, that the party, that being uMkhonto weSizwe, this law should be able to apply to political parties and not just businesses. In the same vein, also for the ANC, Advocate Tiriso Ramokgale making the argument that, the ANC is bringing this case because it wants to deal with the possibility of parties willy-nilly naming their organizations and not actually considering issues of trademark. The judge asked a very important question here, Vuyo, to say, but if you look at the logo of the ANC and you look at the logo of uMkhonto weSizwe party, what possible voter confusion could there be? Are there any similarities in the brands? And so because this has largely actually been the argument of the ANC, that this will cause confusion in the run-up to the elections, and the former president is deliberately trying to conflate the two and create this confusion ahead of the elections by saying that he is doing this for the ANC but outside the ANC. On the side of the uMkhonto weSizwe party, Advocate Dalimpofu has argued two main points around the urgency, jurisdiction and locus standi. His main argument has been, the ANC did appeal the issue of the logo with the Electoral Commission. It was dismissed. On the issue of urgency, the ANC opted not to appeal this and go to the Electoral Court. On the issue of jurisdiction, he concurrently dealt with this matter to say as well, why is the ANC coming to this court and not the Electoral Court to deal with this matter? To which the judge asked, does the Electoral Court really have the mandate to deal with issues of trademark? And in the same vein then, Dalimpofu then dealt with the issue of locus standi, which is basically dealing of the standing of the ANC to even bring the matter to this court, where he was saying the actual intellectual property of the logo of uMkhonto weSizwe falls within the Legacy Trust. And yes, the ANC does have a private agreement with the Legacy Trust, but it does not necessarily make it the proprietor of the brand. So these are some of the arguments we've heard so far in court, Vuyo.
Now, we've heard a lot of people, of legal experts, and probably agreeing with Advocate Mpofu on both the urgency and jurisdiction matters, especially, on the back of yesterday's electoral court ruling. But is the court currently sitting going to confine itself to those issues, or are they not going to go way beyond those issues?
Well, the thing is, the issues of urgency and jurisdiction are very critical, Vuyo, in terms of the processes that you have to go through in law. And now I was touching my phone here because I actually wanted to go through the fundamental argument that was made by Dalimpofu, and he outlined the timelines to say, okay, you applied before the Electoral Commission to dismiss the use of the logo of uMkhonto weSizwe. The Electoral Commission then dismissed your appeal. That was found, that was handed down to you by the Electoral Commission on the 24th of November. According to the law, you have about 30 days to appeal a matter, which the ANC opted not to do, which is a similar kind of finding that was had in the Electoral Court to say you had ample time time to actually deal with this matter. And so Dalimpofu was saying not only did they have ample time, but now they're bringing it before the wrong court. And this court should not actually even be hearing this matter. And on that basis alone, this matter must be dealt with. But if you want to talk merits then, Vuyo, I think, which is what is the foundation of your question, the merits that Dalimpofu has presented is that, well, actually, you guys are bringing this case on the basis of the Trademarks Act, but you guys aren't even the sole proprietors of this very trademark that you are fighting against. In fact, the Legacy Project has released a statement, which is yet to verify, but they're saying that actually the ANC has not even spoken to them about this court challenge, because yes, they have a private agreement, but actually the uMkhonto weSizwe logo is the intellectual property of that trust and not the ANC. And so the argument about voter confusion then becomes muddied when the judge was asking, if this is about the ANC and the confusion of the voter, look at the logo of the ANC and look at that of the uMkhonto weSizwe Party, and then tell me how the confusion arises. And so that is when Advocate Tiriso Ramokgale was speaking about the fact that, well, the Electoral Commission looked at it from logo to logo, but they did not look at it from uMkhonto weSizwe logo versus trademark issues. And this is the foundation of the argument by the African National Congress.
What do we expect to happen after the lunch break, Ziyanda?
Well, after the lunch break, Moses Kakani, who's also representing the uMkhonto weSizwe Party, is also going to make legal arguments in court, and then there will be a rebuttal from the lawyers of the ANC, and the likelihood is that judgment will be reserved.
Let's leave it there for now. Ziyanda Ngcobo outside court, where of course the ANC and the MK Party are slugging it out over the name and logo of MK, which, as Ziyanda was saying, in fact doesn't even belong, to the ANC, but belongs to someone else. We'll see what the court decides on that.